Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome. This is the Daily Dharma, and my name is Dina. Thanks for joining. We get tantric journey and belief, our beliefs about how we connect with ourself, how we balance our need to both protect and activate, as well as to give and receive, share power within ourselves and with other individuals and situations in our life. And with this internal, I guess what I'm talking about is that we may need to rest, but we feel a deadline. And so we push beyond our limits in certain circumstances. In other circumstances, the reverse might take precedence, where we see the deadline, but we're overwhelmed and we can't make ourselves get up and get motivated. So there's a need to work within your own truth and understanding to get some type of resistance worked out. Tantric journey remains in the bottom. One more. Prosperity is coming off the front with integration. So this rebalancing may be a longer standing pattern that has interfered with or created a lot of abundance, depending on which end of the spectrum we're on. But I'm sensing that a new cycle is beginning with cosmic flower here, which that can often talk to me about our very DNA with cosmic flower and how that is activated, and as it's activated, replicated, and so on. But in this case, it's kind of taking the symbolic route of whatever seeds we've been planting. It may seem that nothing's going on until that leaf breaks the surface and we see the germination. But the seed germinates for some time before it shows evidence breaking through the surface. So in the same way, your small efforts are definitely gaining ground, and there's a need to have some type of faith and perseverance when things seem like they're taking their time. And there's also, of course, that reevaluation and reappropriation of our focus. Where we need to focus is a matter of shifting and changing at this time, changing the tantric journey. So for some, this may have to do with a passionate exchange, whether that's with somebody that you're having disagreements with, in those aggressive passions coming out, and with others, you may have something in a romantic, intimate situation that the passionate ebb and flow is somewhat disjointed, needing to be rebalanced. Maybe there's some kind of miscommunication or resentments that have been harbored on some level, and there may be a need to shift and change some crucial approaches internally first. I keep hearing that about how we hold things, what stories we tell ourselves about, well, that person did this one thing and I wasn't feeling that way, and so this means that they're just like this other person or this other situation. So moving beyond our snap judgments and sorting out what the intuitive, inspired, spontaneous intuition versus the instincts that can be colored by previous experiences. Conception and change. So this is a shift that you possibly are already implementing or have felt the need to shift and change already. So this can very well be that your job is just too hectic and too stressful and doesn't allow you the time, space, or additional energy to do what you love at the end of the day. If it's too taxing, can you revitalize yourself through different practices? Can you delegate some things? Can you simplify something? Or is it time to move away from whatever that stress or aggravation or mismatched energy is demanding? And maybe a break is all you need. Conception, staying at the bottom. So we are conceiving of something, and conception is all about something new coming into form and being. So we've also gotten a lot of readings lately about a big project that we're being told to focus on and to simplify any distractions, handle our business in advance so that we can dedicate ourselves in a certain way. I got a few coming out here. It looks like 4, 5. Okay, the first batch that fell on the table is 24 Earth, 26 Empowerment, and 8 Alchemy. And empowerment does reduce to an 8. So 6, 8, and 8. Something you may have been working on for something like 8 years. This could have been something you're revisiting now, something you were doing in your 20s for some, not all. And belief in magic. So these cards all together, Earth is about our earthly material abundance, the things that we're bringing into form and function. Empowerment is all about strengthening through growth and wisdom and the process of maturity in general, but strengthening our resources through the way that we handle ourselves. And so if this is a job or relationship or some type of a thing, you have it within your capacity to bring more magic into the situation. And it seems that you do believe in your magic, but perhaps the differing perspective is that you're magical and this other individual is quite practical. And so there's this mismatch of energy, but there's something very practical that you're able to bring to the table in this situation that is going to help connect with individuals who don't necessarily believe in magic. Maybe somebody is being a little negative, or maybe it could even be, my nose is itching. For some, that's kind of like a tell, right? When some kind of message is coming through. But you're being instructed to maybe believe in your magic if you have had some type of situation that's made you doubt your capacity or your magical ability. Under the deck, we have authority. Yeah, you're working with the universal love force energy with synergy and discernment. So it's telling me here that you understand quite a bit about how to bring more love into the situation, how to work together. But perhaps the authority aspect is getting in the way. And it doesn't necessarily have to be on your end, but when any two individuals are having a disagreement, both individuals seem to have this aspect of their back kind of straightens up and then they get defensive, and then their ears kind of stop listening to what the heart would say. And then crown chakra, with this belief in magic, it seems that you're having a breakthrough moment here. I'd like to get some other cards. So that authority here we'll leave there. What is this breakthrough energy? Really loving this Return of Spirit deck. Faith card with voice. Yeah, it's like you've been practicing your own magic and mojo on your own, but have faith that your magic is needed and wanted and craved in this time and space, in the practical earthly realms. Love surfacing. So if there's been a disagreement or something, it seems that there's a need to reconnect. Both individuals seem to want to come together and create greater love. Feline and surfacing. In the moment, this feline energy is seeming like that your energy is changing, shifting, and potentially even becoming, I just saw 1111 when I looked up, but there's something about that Queen of Wands, sexy mojo energy, could be King of Wands as well, but somebody who's driven and works with their passionate energy on some level and is magical, etc. And these aspects of yourself are surfacing and bringing some type of response energy from the external. And so there's a way that we can utilize that energy to sort of capitalize on that, but not in a bad way. But whether this brings you more clientele, more creative energy, or some type of attention, then there's something about that that helps to reinforce your belief in your own magic, to break through any self-limiting ideas about yourself or things that others have told you about your gift. Or, this can even be religious concerns as well. And I have lost track of the number of times I've had to explain to individuals on all walks of life that the cards are only a tool, and we can use a hammer to drive a nail or to injure an individual. It's not the tool, right? And that reminds me about the big political debacle, but I'm not going to bring that in. Beliefs may be differing, but it is all in how we use our energy and that tool as an extension of our energy and intention. And so the cards can speak to you with the voice of God. They can also, and God in whatever context you choose, not meaning it in the religious sense, but since religion came forward, that's why I was speaking that. But it can also speak to us of ego. So just a real quick disclaimer that if you're doing your own cards or watching other individuals' readings and there's all of this prediction, general readings can be a collective and it might not tell our individual story, even if aspects resonate. And our own energy is going into the cards. So if we have a belief, a fear, or a desire, those elements can sneak their way into the cards and start confusing us. And so the cards are only meant to be not a template, some type of a basic foundation of energies and how they're moving. And sorting through that is going to assist us to help change our mind. Yeah, there's something here about the resistance of beliefs that may have been fostered from an early age, breaking through, making sure none of the other cards fell here, breaking through any limiting beliefs of our forefathers, foremothers, socialized context, parents, family of origin, all of these things, our friends and family and other readers, and our own our own information here. There's some type of a way that we are utilizing our own magic and alchemy here. Excuse me for a drink. Changing our own mind, shifting the minds of others, meeting in the middle in some way. Because I see this clash of energies with different potential backgrounds needing to be resolved. I'm looking up and seeing the words blessed and present, fully embodied. Okay, so we've got 5 cards that flew out, and here we have Violet Flame, Up, and Gifted. And here we have Assistance and Vibrational. So the Violet Flame is all about healing. You can invoke the Violet Flame to assist you in healing or to engage in resolution with another. It's not to make them see your side. It's not to manipulate them into your values and beliefs, because it does take all kinds, despite what it seems. You know, wouldn't it be nice if everybody believed the way I would? You would think. But if it would be nice, then we'd have that way. But diversity is what delivers, I'm hearing. Whatever. So your gifts are opening up through this healing process of being able to change your mind. And maybe there was something that you thought you couldn't handle any other way and it had to be your way. But there's some type of healing that is opening up your gifts, letting you open up to the gifts of others that seemed opposed to your magical needs in the moment. But yeah, we'll get more on that in a moment. And with this assistance and vibration, it's like with this Violet Flame here, we are being assisted in elevating our vibrational resonance. And if that's part of your gift, if that's part of your profession, or just something that you utilize with friends, family, colleagues, etc., you're gaining the assistance to make your own shift first, foremost, and I lost track of where I was going with that. Sorry. As I look at new cards, new energy starts to flow and I just have to leave it. So intuition under change of mind, and then faith below that. So have faith in your intuition. Be willing to change your mind and shift as new perspectives and new wisdom comes in. Don't get too caught up perhaps in feeling like your words need to stand for all time, for instance. And let yourself contradict yourself sometimes, because truth is often contradictory. I mean, that's what duality is, and that's what we're here experiencing and transmuting and transcending. So your vibration is moving up. So that could be part of why you may feel your authority is being challenged. It may be why you're having the inkling to challenge other individuals' belief in their authority. I'm getting number 40, rediscover your zeal. Pay attention to the passion you're feeling for discovery, learning, exploration, spirituality, travel, your work, or your relationship. Passion and desire go together, especially as inspiration. Yeah, I feel like that's really what we're talking about here, is rediscovering, reconnecting, resolving all of these Mercury retrograde refocusing fill in the blank. We're revising some type of approach, and that's why we've got this change of mind. Something may be blowing your mind at this time because as I keep talking, and many others, we're moving into the time where Jupiter is closing in. It's already close enough to count. Jupiter's encountering Uranus in Taurus, which is the sign of love and money. How much more important stuff could we really talk about? Because that's kind of what makes our material and inner world vibe and thrive, to be able to mix and mingle those elements that seem so different, but they're ruled by the same planet of Venus, that abundance. And Jupiter does really well there because Jupiter wants to expand love and money. And Uranus is the rebel, the revolutionary, the spontaneous change bringer, the lightning bolt from the third eye of Shiva. And encountering those together, it's like the paddles when you see in the medical shows, charged, clear, bah, and it brings us awake. It's the assistance sometimes that we need to break through that vibrational glass ceiling, that now we can move upward and beyond some level of healing that was necessary to get into this next chapter. So rediscovering our zeal, it's like the heaviness is encountered right before we push through that fear. Is like the fear threshold, and it's heaviest right before we push beyond. And then once we're courageous in the face of fear, that resistance isn't as strong and pronounced, and then our faith starts to gain momentum instead of the fear. Push to the surface. I don't know if I subconsciously saw that or not. You may have become complacent in some way, shape, or form. You might be stalling or in need of a new surge of energy. Become aware of the dynamics of your life. That's really what we're talking about. There's some level of, you don't need to call it fear for fear to be operating. It can also be, I don't want to trip and fall on my face again. I don't want to go and approach somebody again because I always get shot down. What you believe is ultimately true because we create our own destiny. We choose our own adventure. And as your faith and that vibrational capacity is rising up, your magnetism and your capacity to attract resonant frequencies is increased. And so your own efforts are being rewarded on both the vibrational level and the material level here. It's like being in charge of our own vibrational resonance. It's like saying that anything that hurt us no longer is going to be allowed to manage and control our vibrational frequency any longer. Releasing that is like, we've already surpassed that. We already survived that. So why not have courage in the face of potentials? And why not spend our energy not in anxious, fearful, avoidance, resistance, complicated dramatics, and start to put our energy in the direction of, I have faith that we can see eye to eye. I have faith that I'm going to, whether or not I can work every situation out that I wish I could work out, it does take 2 or more individuals to put their hands in the jar, but I will be okay. I will be resilient. I will move in the direction that is healthy and creates happiness and peace for my life. And knowledge in that way helps our vibrational capacity call others up to our station instead of us slipping down the slope into that fearful, defensive headbutting. And so we're breaking the surface into a new timeline, a new time and space new dimension of awareness. We'll take those. I love that. I may even give you a shot of the thumbnail of this reading. I like the way it is looking here. Art of War card. Sun Tzu said, "He will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight." Pick your battles. As in war, so in family life, some battles or arguments cannot be won. All families argue, whether it's parents arguing with each other, parents with children, or siblings with each other. And you can also take this as your work family, your friends' family. Communication is key in establishing boundaries. If you have to argue, don't lose your temper. Be rational and deliberate. But remember, sometimes it's more important to move on. And it doesn't necessarily mean moving on from your family members, right? It can be like, why do we have to keep bringing those one things up? Oh, that one time that you did such and such, or you never do the dishes, or whatever it is in that family life, or you always pick on me. You never like the creative whatever that I turn out. As we know that we are valid and worthy and that individual does love us, then even if they pick at those things, we don't need to call it out in that way, because then it's just like two people being dedicated to misunderstanding each other. It's like, you often make me feel that you don't like the way I dress or act. Could be one simple shift of how to approach something. Or sometimes I feel like you don't believe in me, or I feel like you don't support my creative adventures, or I feel like you underestimate me or make me feel powerless in this way, or I love you so much that I am afraid sometimes at the emotional power that I feel like I give over to you and that you have on my feelings of safety and security. If you have a commitment and your fear is based around that, or abandonment or rejection, which are base level. I mean, don't be scared to even admit that you have these things coming up for you. If that's your story, it feels so much more powerful to have somebody admit it first, because chances are you're reflecting that with each other and fighting over who loves more, or like, if you're both feeling afraid to move into the next level, then you start fighting and you're both using that context as evidence that it's on the rocks, it's a tower, we're going to just have to move on. It's like, as we pick our battles and our way of approaching this, we can look at, is it really that they don't support us, or is it that we wish that we felt inspired enough to go out and just do some great things and we've held ourselves back? And it might not be that they don't support us. It might be that we're not bringing ourselves fully to the table. It might not be that we're both feeling like rejecting the other individual. It might be that we're afraid of being rejected and then we get stuck there. Value your friendships. Friendship is not something you hand out to anybody. Sometimes they're only confirmed in dark and troubled times. Friendships can form instantly or grow slowly over time. An act of friendship does not need to be grand and dramatic. It can be a lot of little kindness added together. Friendships can take a lifetime to earn, yet be lost in a second. Nourish them. I'm getting tingles all throughout. There's somebody that needs to be reconnected with. Maybe there's distance, misunderstanding. Yeah, I'm getting emotional. And I can't attribute this to anybody in particular, but somebody out there needs a friend. Sun Tzu said, at the critical moment, The leader of an army acts like one who has climbed up a height and then kicks away the ladder behind him. He carries his men deep into hostile territory before he shows his hand. So I feel like that is the moment of admitting your fear and why you feel sensitive or vulnerable and why you're feeling contradictory or like you want to shake somebody up. You want to ask them to show you or tell you that you are loved and cared for and supported, and you are. Trust it. Love hard. Take care. Check back for more if you need. Thanks, guys. Maybe not. Doesn't want to stop. I said stop. Your message is over. All right. Here we go. Take care.